Hey everyone. I wanted to try to do an explanation of gender theory using Trump supporters because we all like Trump supporters, don't we? Right? Exactly. I really encourage all of you to watch this till the end because you're probably already making opinions on what I'm gonna say at this point, and it's probably gonna be surprising. So I'd like to describe and give a good example of gender theory using Trump voters. Okay, so and I come from a left background, watching Jordan Klepper, The Daily Show, John Oliver, all these different things and all the different stuff, right? I know it is all so funny, right? So what if we classify the different ones? What if we classify the ones who well, here's the first easiest one. So there's the January 6th genders. Those are the easiest to identify because, we persecuted all of them, right? So what if, well, I guess the first question is, when we're talking about gender theory, is what is the number of people that has to be set to qualify to be a new gender? Everybody keeps saying that gender theory is expansive, and, when people are explaining gender because they can't really explain it in any other way, shape, or form, the only two that we have an explanation for are the two that align with sex. But for all the other ones that we can't really articulate, it seems to be this pattern of self-belief and self-thought and, like a self-identification thing. So, okay. So let's just say that the gender of the people who believe that Trump and you might say what you want, and you might think that they're radicalists, you might think that they're treacherous, but they don't think that. They don't think that they are. And we don't know. What if the election was stolen? There's enough conflicting information in this country, and there's enough conflicting viewpoints in this country that whatever the demographic is, whatever that threshold of people is that it needs to hit, I'm fairly certain that the January 6th people hit it. So, okay, let's not stop there, though. Let's do all the original supporters who decided to not vote for him the second time. And then, because that's going to be such a large number of people and it's too broad of an explanation, we're going to have to subgroup that into the other different ones. Did they not do it because they didn't like his foreign policy reasons? They did not do it because they didn't like his money. Then we're going to have another category for all the people who hadn't voted for Trump but then did vote for Trump. And we're going to have to subcategory that into people who were Democrats who voted for Trump versus who didn't vote for Trump and switch versus people who were independent. Do you see how it starts to all just break down? This is the problem. This is the problem. When you can't identify what does gender mean, and we have gone down the rabbit hole of gender theory so hard that we have lost sight that the whole reason we said male and female gender to begin with, period, is because there's only male and female sex. And it was a way for scientists, people doing scientific studies, to have a different word to describe things because phenotypically we don't always look the same. We develop differently. We also culturally present differently. If you were to count by population alone of females, and this is why the CDC requires that you give your birth sex. If everybody in a population said that they were female and they didn't give their birth sex, then scientists and medical experts wouldn't know if a certain disease is targeting the male demographic more or the female demographic more. These are scientific words, scientific meaning that were put in place for a very specific reason. Male is to describe the phenotypic and behavioral characteristics that are observable in male Homo sapiens. Female in female Homo sapiens. If you are aligning with a gender, you should be aligning with some sort of construct of those characteristic traits. Otherwise, you're just somewhere in the pattern of the other ones. Even I, as a trans woman, am really technically just in a pattern of another one. I'm just culturally confused in my brain. You can't keep adding on genders. And if you are going to insist on continuing to add genders, anyone who is a Trump supporter who's watched this far, Trump 2024, I think that that's what we should start doing. Yeah, I hard flipped. I hard flipped fast, babies, before the Biden run. I'm just going to say, like, it's time to use the same game against everybody. You know what? If we should just go out and find out if gender theory is we can literally have as many genders as we want and it can just keep going astronomically and out of control, and we're going to let this whole entire charade just keep going, then fine. Trump supporters everywhere, let's start pissant piddly splitting away the smallest way that we can figure out how to agreeably differentiate each other. So, LGBTQ people for Trump, trans people who are in the LGBTQ people for Trump, gay people for Trump, like every single little group, we just all need to have our own little genders. And then we'll come up with our own neo-pronouns. We'll create web pages. Yeah, this is pretty insulting, isn't it?